because computer will knows only zeros and one language.
Okay. See, IP address means it is the identity of a computer over the network. I can say correct, na? So IP address is nothing but it is an address for a computer. It is an address given to a computer to recognize that computer over the network. Like we have our identity, like our Aadhaar number is there, we have our PAN number, we have our passport number is there, correct? And that is universal. Passport number is universal. Aadhaar is actually entire the nation, it is unique, correct? Right? Voter ID entire the state, it is unique, right? So likewise, we have computer also have an address. That address we call it as IP address. Okay, so I will just quickly rush up. Okay, so the next one is, so there are two types of address actually. So when I say addressing, there are two types of address in the computer. One is physical address, another one is logical address. The physical address means the address which is given to a computer hardware. Okay, the physical address means the address which is given to a computer hardware on the physical to identify physically, that is called as physical address. We also call this physical address as the MAC address. Okay, and this MAC address is like, it's a 12 digit alphanumeric value. You can see here the physical address is like, it will be like this: D8-3B-BF33CE-12. This is how a MAC address will be looks like, and we call this address as a physical address. And this physical address is unique in the entire world. No other device will have the same physical address. Okay, that is unique in nature. That is why if you look at when the police or the criminal, any kind of crimes happen, they will detect and they will trace the mobile using the IMEI number. IMEI number, correct na? That IMEI number is unique for that device in the entire world. No other computer or no other mobile will have the same IMEI number. That is why police will use the IMEI number and trace them where exactly which network they are into, all those things. Okay, that is helping to trace the device in the globe. Okay, and the logical address means it is not the permanent address. It is this address will be keep on varying from network to network. Like you have your own address, own house, the permanent address will be remain same, correct na? Something at so and so cross, door number so and so, correct na? That is permanent. But you have another option called current address or mailing address. So that will be keep on changing when you vacate the house, or when shift the house to another house. The address will be keep on changing. That is called as logical address. So the logical address is nothing but the IP address. IP is nothing but the internet protocol address. Okay, and this IP address will keep on changing from network to network. If you connect your computer network via your mobile hotspot, you will see a different IP address. You connect your house broadband and check the IP address, you will see a different IP address. And if you go to office and connect your office network, you see a different address. So this logical address will be keep on changing. It is not a permanent address. It will vary from network to network. So now the takeaway is IP address is nothing but it is an address given to a computer to recognize the computer over the network. And if I want to deeply talk about IP address, okay, there are two types of addresses, broadly classified as two types of address. One is physical address, another one is logical address. So physical address means the address given to the physical hardware of a computer, that is called as physical address, and we also call this as a MAC address, and this MAC address is globally unique. Okay, no other device in the world will have the same IP address, same MAC addresses. Okay, and this MAC address will be resided inside the network interface card. If you have 5 network interface card in your computer, you will have 5 physical addresses. See here, if I go to command prompt and if I type ipconfig/all, so this command will tell me, okay, how many network interface cards are there and what is the IP address of the computer, and also DNS and whatever information it will give. If I click on here, you see here I have so many network interface cards. See, this is the host name. Okay, this is the hybrid network. Okay, fine. Ethernet adapter is there. Okay, And see, Ethernet adapter is that there is no IP address assigned, and MAC address is this one. This is 2, this is 3. Ethernet adapter, Ethernet 3 is there. See, the IP address is not there, but its physical address is there. Okay. See, likewise, if you see, Ethernet 2 is there, 2 is there, and see, many are there. See here 0009 0F FE 00001. Here you see this 09 is there, 5 is there, 50 is there. Means every network interface card has got its own physical address. See, physical address, the same physical address we call it as MAC address. If you look at here ncpa.cpl, I think I have 4 to 5 network interface cards here. See, oh, it is almost 8 network interface cards I have. 2, 4, 6 and 8 network interface cards are there. So each and every network interface card will have its own MAC address. If you change the network interface card, then the MAC address will be changed. Okay, you may ask a question, sir. You said unique. Yes. No other computer will have the same name, same MAC address. If you change the network interface card, then obviously the address will be changing. But that will be there only for that computer, and no other computer in the world will have the same MAC address. Okay, that is why it is unique in nature. Okay, and you see here, this is my VMware network adapter. This is also VMware network adapter, and they have got the IP address. See here, IPv4 192.168.44.1, and you see here 192.168.190.17 preferred, right? So this is how the MAC address will be looks like. Okay, and IP address, now you know IP address means it will keep on changing its logical address. It will vary from network to network. So this IP address further gets classified into 2 versions. One is IP version 4, another one is IP version 6. This IP version 4, it is an actually a 32-bit numerical value. Okay, if you look at the IP address, always the IP address will be starting with the number. Okay, number will be like 10.16.1.1 or 172.16.1.10 or 192.168.100.1, something like that it will start. And there is no ABCD in between, and there will be 4 octets. Dot, dot, dot. Between the dots, there are 4 numbers will be there, correct? Na? So that is called as the numerical value with 4 octet. Then IPv6 is a 128-bit number. Okay, it is a 128-bit number. It has got multiple, it has got alpha and numerical value mixed up, and with also special characters. Currently, the IPv4 is running. IPv6 very rarely used. In the big companies, they are using IPv6. Why we went to IPv6 when we have IPv4 means in the previous era, okay, 10, 15 years back, probably if you look at if you look for the mobile phones, maybe 1 or 2 mobile phones in a village was there. Now each and every person has got 2 to 3 mobile phones, smart devices, smart watches, smart TV, and smart camera, smart fan. Everything is smart. So when we say smart, that particular device will have a network interface card. Correct, na? Means it should have an IP address. So since we are consuming everywhere we are talking about smart, and we are just consuming the IP address. It is a very limited address. In fact, this IPv4 is a very limited IP address because it's a 32-bit. We have very limited numbers. So maybe in future, after 10 years or 15 years, we will be end up with this IPv4. All the IPv4s will be completely exhausted. Then we don't have IP address for our future generations. So just to bring or safeguard the IPs for the future generation, this IPv6 came up. Okay, so that is about the theory and the story why IPv4 and IPv6. Okay, then this IPv4 further gets classified into 2 types of IP address. One is public IP, another one is private IP. So public IP means that IP is available over the internet. Means you have a public IP in your laptop. I am sitting in my home. I can connect your laptop and I can just see what is there in your laptop. I can copy the data from your laptop. I can even paste the data to your laptop. That is called as public because that particular IP address is exposed to the internet. Means if you have the internet, anybody can access the IP address, or anybody can access that particular device which has got this IP address. That is called as public IP. Like you have public transport, anybody can travel, no religion, no community, or no state, no countries, correct na? There is no restrictions at all for public transport, for the public bus or metro, whatever you talk about, because that is open for everyone, that is available for everyone, that is called as public. And here in our context, public means it is open for the internet. Private means you have your own private pool, maybe on your house rooftop. You have a public, I mean, you have a private pool. Okay, will you allow everyone? It's your private property now. Why will you allow everyone? Correct, na? So that means you don't have private means it's your own. Nobody can access without your permissions. Correct, na? You have to allow them, or you have to permit them to look into the pool, or get into the pool. That is called as private. Private means it's your own. So this private IP further gets classified into classes. Okay, you see the IPv4 I was telling you. IPv4 means it's a 32-bit logical address. It has got 4 octet of each 8 bits. So bits is nothing but ones, na? Bits is nothing but ones, zeros and ones, and computer will only understand zeros and ones, and it doesn't understand any other. Even the numbers it won't understand. Computer will only understand zeros and ones. Okay, and this binary language is there, na? Zeros and ones. Using that binary language, we have derived these numbers 192.168.39.240. Correct. So this is how the IP address looks like. It will be like 192.168.39.240. It's an example. If you look at, it has got 4 octet. Octa means 8. 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8. 8 fours are 32. So 32 bits are here. See here, 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. 2 times, 2 times 8 times 1 is there. Here also 8 times 1. So 8 fours are 32. That is why I have written this at 8 bits. Okay, it is a 30 total, overall 32 bit, 4 octet, 1 2 3 4, and each octet is of having 8 bits. That is called as the IP version 4. Okay, and we will only study about the IP version 4. And this IP address further gets classified into multiple classes. Okay, multiple classes means based on the usage and based on the IP address requirement, this gets classified into multiple classes. Okay, there are 5 classes in the IP address. Okay, the class A, class B, class C, class D, class E. Okay, there are 5 classes. Okay, and how will you identify which IPs belongs to which class? Okay, let me power on my tablet one second. Yeah, if you look at here, see, class A means if the IP address that is started with 1 to 126. See here, the class A which I am talking about, the IP addresses begin with 1 here and 126 here. So if the IP is started with 1 to 126, only the first octet I am talking about. If the first octet is begin with in between 1 and 126, you can straight away call this as class A IP address. Class B is like 128 to 191. If the IP is started with like 128, 129, 130 up to 191, or in between 128 and 191, that is called as class B. The class C is like 192 to 223. Okay, see, I'm not talking about the last 3 octets, 0000. Okay, that can be anything. Anything means in between 1 and 254. I'll tell you why it is 254 only. Okay, so similarly, class D will be like 224 to 239, 224 to 239, and it is 240 to 255. Okay, see here, if the IP is started with 1 to 126 is class A, 128 to 191 is class B, 192 to 223 is class C. See, if you look at the remarks, only the first three classes mentioned as two can be used. Means anybody can use the IP address which is belongs to the first three classes, class A, class B, class C. The remaining two classes are not for the civilian usage. We cannot use this IP address because these class of IP address are kept or reserved for the multicasting and the research purposes. Means the pupils who work on the research of the new generation IP address and all, right, they will be using it, and we are not supposed to use it. So the usage is only class A, B, C, the first three classes, okay, which is 1 to 126, 128 to 191, and 192 to 223. And if you look at here, in between 1 to 126 and 128 to 191, one number is missing. Correct? Now, see here, 1 to 126 there. After 126, 127 is not there. But if you look at here, 128 to 191 is there, after 191, 192 is there, and up to 223, after 223, 224 is there. But this here, one number is missing, which is called as 127. So this 127 we call it as loop back adapter. So when the network team derived this IP address, right, they wanted to make sure how can I check the health of the network interface card of my own machine. Say for example, I want to check whether my network interface card in my local computer is working fine or not. To check that, what they have done, they have reserved this IP address and they have programmed such a way, if you type ping 127.1.1.1 and if you hit enter, it will give you the response. See, it is giving you the response stating replay from 127.1.1.1 with 32 bytes of data, and it is the response is coming less than 1 milliseconds. That means the network interface card or the health of the network interface card of this particular VM or computer is healthy. So to verify the health of the network interface card in the local computer, this 127001 or 127 number is reserved. You can write any number. It is not necessarily like you have to put 121 and 120 You start with 127 and write any number between 1 to 254. If you see 3.233.132, see ping, I have to enter ping. See, it is coming. Or you can even put 127.127.127.127. That will also work. Ping. See, that will also work. You can even put ping 127.254.254.254. Even that will also work. See. So basically this 127, I'm talking about the first octet only. The 127 is reserved for to verify the network interface card health. Okay, that's all. And we also call that as loop back adapter IP address. Okay, fine. So why do we need classes, sir? You may ask, sir, why they have segregated the IP address in the classes? Okay. So for the effective utilization of the IP address, and you can select the class of the IP address depend upon the number of computers or number of hosts or number of networks you want. See, the IP address is nothing but it's a combination of the network bit and the host bit. Means whenever you write an IP address, say for example, you are writing this IP address 172.16.1.0. So can somebody tell me which class this IP address belongs to? The IP is begin with 172. If you look at the previous one, which class that IP address belongs to?
Class B.
Class B.
Yeah, it is class B. Correct. Now, so class B, if you look at here, class B, how many network bits are there? N means network, H means host. N means network, H means host. Host is nothing but computers. How many bits are there? Or how many octets are there for network? How many octets are there, guys?
2.
Yes. So there are 2 octet, means in your organization you have average number of networks and average number of computers. You can always go with class B. Means, say for example, you may have around 500 offices in the entire India, and you have in each and every offices around 200-300 computers. That time you can opt class B IP address, because you will get 16-bit for network and 16-bit for computers. Okay, sometimes what happens, more number of offices will be there and less number of computers will be there. If you look at this Vodafone office, Airtel outlets, VA outlets, Jio outlets, every area you see the Airtel outlets. Correct, na? Every small area you will have the outlets. Means in Bangalore itself you have around 11,000 something or something is there. I don't know how many shops are there Airtel. Okay, at least 5,000 shops are there Airtel outlets in Bangalore. And in each and every offices we have maybe 3 to 4 computers only there, or maximum 5 computers. The 5 users will be there, only 5 computers will be there. So now tell me, keeping that in mind, since Airtel need more number of network and less number of hosts, which class you will refer? If you are working as an
Class-
engineer, which one?
Class C.
Yeah, class C is the ideal one, because here you have more number of octets for the network. Means here 24 bits for the network, and host you have 1 octet. Okay, 1 means how much? Up to 1 to 254 computers can be connected here. In each network you can connect 254 computers, but in class B you can, in one network you can connect up to 65,000 computers can be connected here. Okay, see, now the takeaways here, you should know what is the classification 1 to 126, 190, 128, 191, 192 to 223, and what is low pack adapter. Then you should understand why the classification is done. Okay, so when you have very less computer, very less officers. Imagine you are working in a company called Google and Microsoft. Google and Microsoft office are very less. In Bangalore we have 1 office, Hyderabad we have 1 office, Delhi we have 1 office. But in each offices we have lakhs together of employees, lakh together of computers. That time Microsoft or Google cannot use the class C IP address, because their class C huge network is there, less computers are there. But in the class A, if you look at, less networks but huge computers are there. Host, correct, na? Host bits are there. Okay, so that is why people will have decided, segregated, classified this IP address as class A, B, C, D and E. Okay, now you got an idea what is the classes and why the segregation is there. Okay, any question here? Okay, I'll take it as no. Now I was explaining you, like, there are 2 types of IP address. One is public IP, another one is private IP. And I told you, if you are using a public IP, your computer will be at risk, because it is exposed to the internet. Anybody can access, anybody can penetrate your network, anybody can inject viruses, anybody can ask for the ransoms, anybody can destroy your data. That is the risk. Public IP means it's a risk, because that is exposed to the internet, you don't have any control at all. And private means it is your own IP address, and anybody want to get in, they need to have your permissions. Correct, huh? So you need to know what are the private IP address and what are all the public IPs. By looking at an IP address, how can you identify whether the IP address is a public or a private IP addresses? Any idea? Any idea, guys? No. See, I told you, there are 3 classes. In each classes, okay, we have reserved one particular number to use it as a private IP address. Apart from that number, if you write any numbers, that is a public IP. See, I told you first and foremost, the basic law is this one. The IP should be begin with 1 to 254. Why it is 254? I'll tell you in 2 minutes. Okay. So, and I told you there are three classes can be used. A, B, C. And I told you in each and every classes one number is reserved for the private IP, remaining number anything you write that is a public IP. See here in the class A 10 is kept it as the public range. If an IP that is start with 10, that is class A private IP address. If you write 11, that is a public IP class A. Okay, and if I look at here B, if you write an IP address called 172 dot any number for that matter, that is class B private IP address, and similarly class C is 192. These three numbers should be printed in your mind. This is the basic thumb rules. Okay, 1 to 254, that is a valid IP address. If a number starting with 1 to 254, that is a valid IP address. If I write 255, that is invalid. Now I'll write to some IP address. You have to tell me. Okay, so 1 to 126, 128 to 191, 192 to 223. Now I will write some IP addresses. You have to tell me what valid, whether it is valid, whether it is public or private, and class, which class it is belongs to. Okay, you have to tell these three things to be. Okay, so just look at this board and just try to answer. Okay, so I will write one IP address now. 1.2.3.4. What is this IP address?
Public.
It's a public IP, and then it's a valid IP, and then it is class A. You have to tell three things. It is a valid IP, it's a public IP, and it's a class A IP. Okay. Now, one more I will write. 1.2.3.260.
It's an invalid public IP and class A.
Exactly. See, this is what you should come to your mind, because you see here this octet has got 260, which is more than 254. Then it is invalid. Now one more thing. 173.1.10.191.
Valid class C and it's public.
Yeah, it's a valid IP, but class B IP, it's a public IP. Okay, see the number. The number is varying between 173, correct na? Class B 128 to 191, 126, 191. It's class B na, 173 coming between here na. Yeah, fine. Now last one. Okay, 192.168.1.10. Maybe in your offices, most of the offices, you will see this one or this one, or some offices you will see this one. Okay. What is the last one?
It's a private.
Yeah, it's a private.
Class C.
Yeah.
Class C.
Valid IP.
Valid.
Exactly. So that thought process should be coming when you look at an IP address. This is a thumb rule. Okay. So fine. Now I will tell you why this number is 254. Okay. If I go there, let me open the OneNote. See, I was telling you, valid means the IP address should be vary from 1 to 254. Correct, na? Why it is only 254, 1 to 254? Why it is not 300, 400, 500? Because I told you IPv4, it is a 32-bit number. Correct, na? So bit means what? Bit means it is 1. Correct, na? And binary means what? It is zeros and ones. Binary means 0 and 1s. This is correct now? Have you guys know about it? Guys, please speak. You guys know about it? Bit means what? Bit means 1. Hello? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bit
Yes,
means
sir.
bit means 1. Binary means zeros and ones. And computer will only understand zeros and ones. Computer doesn't understand even number. Number means only 0 and 1 only it will understand. Whatever you write, if you write 254 also, computer will convert that to the binary and then it will understand. Okay. So now I will tell you why it is 254. And I was telling you it is 32-bit number. So let me write the 32 bits here. Okay, I will write the 32 bits here. 4 octet, na? It is 4 octet. I have 4 octet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So in each octet, I have 8 bits. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't need to remember this. Just you should know how it will be derived. Okay. Now here 32 numbers are there. Okay. So let me take only one octet here, and because I told you each and every octet should vary between 1 to 254, and I want to tell you why it is 1 to 254 only. Now take only the 8 bits. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now there is a formula 2 to the power of n minus 1. This is called the octet value. Okay. So now let me put 2 to the power of n. So 2 to the power of 1, 2 to the power of 2, 2 to the power of 3, 2 to the power of 4, 2 to the power of 5, 2 to the power of 6, 2 to the power of 7, and 2 to the power of 8 if I do. So 2 to the power of 1 means it is 1 only. Okay. It is 2 only. 2. This is 4. This is 8. And this is 16. This is 32. This is 64. This is 128. And it is 256. Okay. So, and the formula is what? 2 to the power of n minus 1. If you put 2 to the power of n, 2 to the power of n means 8 minus 1. It is 256 minus 1. It is 255. Total number of IP can be 255. But this 255 is there. Now, this we will call it as broadcast value. This 250 will call it as broadcast value. And that is why we will minus 1. Always in this 255, we will minus 1. That is called as 254. That is why the numbers in each octet will vary between 1 to 254. Say for example, now you wanted to create one. You wanted to know how an IP address will be derived. 192.168.1.10, and you want to convert this to binary. Say for example 8. This one you wanted to convert to binary. Okay. Here see, just take any two numbers. Okay. Here, say for example 8 plus 2, 10. Correct. Now you put 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So the binary for this 2 is this one. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1. This is called as 10. Computer will convert this 10 to binary and then it will understand. Similarly 192, you need to add some number which will convert or which will add up 192. So 128, if you add 128 plus 4, this will become, see, 128 plus 4, 132, 132 plus 60, 192. Correct? See here, this one become 0, this one 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So if you want to write 192 as a binary, you need to write like this: 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, one more 0 like this. This is how you have to convert binary to, numerical to binary. Hope you understood now how this 255 comes and how computer will convert to actual address and the numerical value to the binary addresses. It is too much of boring class, but you don't need to remember it, but you should know how it derives. Okay. Then I'll go back here. The last one is subnetting. Subnetting means is nothing but the process of converting a large number of network into small number of network. So subnet means you have your parent has got 5 acre of land. Okay, it's a big land and you have 5 sons are there. Okay, what they will do, they will divide that property into 5 pieces. Okay, and they will equally, maybe they depend upon the priority, they will distribute the property to you. So the same fashion, subnetting means the process of dividing large number of network into smaller network we call it as subnetting. And why do we need it? For effective utilization of the IP address. When you have very less IP addresses, to make them use effectively, we will do the subnetting. That's all. Nobody, that's actually a CCNA portion. You don't need to worry about it, but you should know how the subnetting works. Okay. And here are some of the CIDR values. You see, when I say /24, how many IP addresses will be there? I was telling /24. See, class C has got only /24. Correct, na? /24 means up to 256. See, I told you 254 is the usable IP. See, 254 is there. And class B, which is 16 bits, correct, na? 2N, 2H. See, 65,000 I told you, the same 65,534. And another one is class A, 8. You see how many addresses are there? I told you Microsoft. Class A, only the first bit is network, remaining all is host. See, up to 1,000, 10,000 lakhs, 16 crore IP address are there. Imagine, in each network you can have 16 crore IP address. So these 3 numbers you should keep it in mind. Class A is /8, class B is /16, class C is /24. If you need more number of networks, less number of computer, go with /24, which is class C. You have average number of network and average number of computers, then go with class B, which is /16. If you have very less number of network and more number of computers, then go with class A, which is /8 network. Okay. With that, IP address is completed. What's the time now? It is 9:25. Almost half an hour we are exceeded. Let me stop the recording. Tomorrow we'll continue.